Now, regardless of whether the scenario where Ganondorf defeats Link is real or not, from the point of view of the backstory given in Link to the Past, it makes sense in a way because it explains how come the imprisoning war, that's the background story to Link to the Past, how it happened because there was no hero of time to stop Ganondorf, so the sages had to seal Ganondorf away in the Dark World. And I've been talking to other people about this, and one interesting opinion that I've heard is that they should really make a game that takes place during the imprisoning war. The problem with that, however, is that it can't feature Link, because the entire point of there being an imprisoning war is because there is no Link. I don't know, maybe you could make it into a spin-off game or whatever that could explain better what happened during the imprisoning war. Because right now it's only explained in the backstory to the Link to the Past, and I don't know, I get the feeling that it's a storyline arc that really could be enriched by having a game about it. Of course, as I said, there are a few difficulties, but maybe as a spin-off game of sorts they could manage to be able to do it. So, that is apparently what happens and what causes the events of Link to the Past to occur. And I'm betting you that the next time you're going to be playing that game, you're going to be feeling like you're not only playing to save Hyrule and stuff, but you're also carrying the burden of your previous self that has failed to stop Ganondorf before. Now, there are other games than Link to the Past in this timeline, so it's about time that I get to talking about them since I've been going on and on about the possibility of this timeline being sort of a fake one and the imprisoning war and stuff. And one interesting thing about this timeline is that Link's Awakening was widely accepted to be a direct sequel to Link to the Past. However, between Link to the Past and Link's Awakening in this timeline, you can find Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, which features Kume and Kotaki trying to revive Ganon after his defeat in Link to the Past. And the interesting thing is that because of the placement of the Oracle games, means that it's the exact same Link from Link to the Past and Link's Awakening that is in those two games. Now, some people may have thought of it before, but now it's actually canon, and that also makes it so that the boat at the end of Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons is the same boat from Link's Awakening. So this Link has been keeping rather busy. He's got four games under his belt already. And after all these games, we get the first two games, Zelda 1 and Zelda 2. Sort of ironic that the first two games ever made would be last in a potentially what-if timeline, but that's the case. There's no real denying it, especially since Link to the Past and Link's Awakening were already more or less confirmed to take place before these two. So, once again, there's no real problem with the placement of the games relative to each other in this particular timeline. I'd say the two main areas where people might think there are contradictions or paradoxes and such are the placement of Four Swords Adventures and Ganondorf somehow winning and losing in Ocarina of Time at the same time. And it's sort of odd how this potential branching off only occurs in Ocarina of Time. In no other game is there a scenario where Ganondorf wins. Only in Ocarina of Time. So, this is the official Zelda timeline and how much sense I could make out of it, of course. Some of you guys who have more experience than me with the handheld games and such might see it a little differently, but overall, this is probably the closest that they could come to a timeline that doesn't ask too many questions. Of course, as I said, there are a few flaws, but as I've also said, there is simply no way you can make a timeline that would be completely and utterly flawless. For example, as I said, Four Swords Adventures can hardly take place after Ocarina of Time, but depending on your point of view, it can't really take place before either. So that's gonna be a pain in the ass, and I'm not expecting the debates to stop, even though, you know, now we have something that's actually canon. My point of view on this is, personally, it's canon, it's good enough. I'm not gonna argue about that anymore. Not that I did in the first place, because as I've always said, the Zelda timeline debates are and always will be an exercise in futility. So, that was my 2 cents on the matter. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.